action. 50K to cousins, post a caption. Pray none of my enemies hold me captive. I grieve different.
Wisdom that spending on experiences is more meaningful than material possessions is both obnoxious and...
Do you guys know what fancy fish are called? They're sophisticated. Oh yeah, I did say that. Now that dad jokes are out of the way, we're going to deep dive into the YOLO philosophy. Because for the most part, I see people living like there is no tomorrow, and even if there is, they really don't care. Which is sad, but it is what it is. And I have seen both sides of the spectrum. We're going to deep dive into both sides to get perspectives from each one to kind of give us some context. But I think on the whole, people are just diving in face first into the concrete as far as their finances are concerned. So let's get started.
Between YOLO and wanting to fire. You know, between life is too short, buy that damn outfit, and I should have bought $100 worth of VOO instead of that $100 outfit.
Probably. So for those of you that aren't aware, VOO is an ETF. It's a conglomeration of about, 30 plus companies in the stock market, from technology, finance, things like that. In fact, here, let's go over here and see what the current price of VOO is. $625.94. Now, I invest in this myself, and before you go thinking this financial advice, it isn't. Go to your financial advisor. But if we take a deeper dive into this, over the past year, 52-week range, it was $422 last year. Now it's $634. What does that tell you? It's increased almost 40% in value over the last year. So if you put $100 in a year ago, that $100 would be worth $140. So should she have done $100 in VOO? Yeah, probably.
Choosing one side. It is about creating a system that allows you to do both. And that's where my Play Money account comes in. Let's talk money like a girl. At the start of the month, I transfer a small amount.
I hate this girl crap. It's like because you're a girl, you have an excuse to be dumb. Disagree.
Sometimes $200 into a separate savings account. It is money that I can spend guilt-free on things that make me happy, such as a concert, a fancy meal, or an outfit that I would never wear. Just kidding, I would never buy useless stuff.
This is my permission slip to
enjoy life without sabotaging my financial goals. This is how it works. Let's say I want to buy a Tumi backpack that is $350, and I also want to buy a Dyson Airwrap that is $400. If I have $650 in my Play Money account, I can potentially buy only one of these two things.
So most people would just buy both, let's be honest here. Or in fact, they'd probably buy both the backpack and the Airwrap and put it on Afterpay and then call it a day and pay $25 a week for each one for like 6 weeks. Thinking they're saving money. They're not. I'm not a believer in Afterpay. I think that it's just going to add up really quickly, and you end up buying too much, and all of a sudden you've got, $200-300 worth in Afterpay payments when you should have just bought it in whole. I like to have little money coming out of my account every single month as I can. That way I can put money towards other things, like VOO.
Backpack, I would still pay the $350 using my credit card because points, and then transfer that exact $350 from my savings to my checking account. Then I will have $300 remaining in my Play account, and I can buy my Dyson Airwrap maybe after a month. This helps me reduce impulse shopping. Most of my money is kept where it belongs, such as emergency fund and investing. And that's how you build financial discipline, but without deprivation. Real wealth is not about numbers. It's about control and clarity.
So she actually made some sense, and I agree with her 100%. Absolutely rocking with what she's saying. You have to have a fund for things that you want that are extra. I do. I think everybody should, and it keeps you from, like she said, overspending. So she believes in tomorrow. I like it.
What's the piece of advice you'd tell your younger self? Spend more. You have to live life. You can't just save for the future. That's why the best thing about my wife. If it were up to me, I'd spend nothing. I'd hoard everything, and then my kids get a bigger inheritance. Now, we go on vacations. We plan for the future, but you have to plan for the future.
So I know, split down the middle of dads who look at this. Some of them are like, I want to give my kids the biggest inheritance they can, and others are basically like, I raise them till they're 18, I can spend my money how I want. And I can see both sides of the story. For me personally, I've been investing in my daughter's education and retirement basically since she was born, because I think it's the right thing to do. Why wouldn't you help your children live a better life than you did? Otherwise, what's the point in even having them, right? But again, there is a balance. If I just give every dollar I have to my daughter, and I don't do anything, my relationship's probably going to be miserable. My life's probably going to be fairly miserable, even though I'll have a happy daughter. You have to at least do some things for yourself. So this is kind of like the in-between of YOLO, right? We have this middle ground, which I think not many people are in nowadays at all. But I agree with him. You gotta have some fun.
She's educated cousin, post the caption, pray none of my enemies hold me captive. I grieve different.
Okay, so like I said before, this whole girl excuse thing is dumb. Very, very dumb. I don't think that you should be stupid just because of your gender. In fact, I think that you should continue to educate yourself every single day. So, boys out there, if she says she uses girl math, I would run. For the ladies out there that are watching this and you use girl math, I still love you, but maybe you should use girl math and, take care of yourself. Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether you're a girl or a man, you're going to be responsible for your financial choices. And if they're bad, you're going to reap those rewards. And if you are good, you're going to reap those rewards. So there's no reason to tank our finances just because we're a girl and expect someone else to come and save us. That really frustrates me. But honestly, I just wanted to play the music for that. I ain't gonna lie.
Expensive city think I'm rich. I'm not rich. I'm irresponsible.
He said I'm irresponsible. So I've got plenty of friends like this that take vacations all the time and can't even pay for them. And I think this is probably more common than we might realize. Because every time I go on a work trip, the plane is full. The first class is always full. Granted, they give people upgrades if they don't fill them, but nobody looks like they're really backing down from what I can see, at least here in the United States. If you're abroad, maybe it's different, let me know. But on the whole, at least in the United States, if the economy is bad, which it is, and people are losing their jobs, which they are, then you would think you would see this declining, but I can't really see a difference. It might be different in your hometown, but I'm willing to bet that there's at least 10 million other people just like this dude.
The common wisdom that spending on experiences is more meaningful than material possessions is both obnoxious and misleading. That's because it's only true if you already have a lot of material possessions.
Let's break that down a minute. Material possessions don't really provide value in the same context as like a trip would, but they're also different things, like apples and oranges. When you purchase something, you expect something in return for that one object. If I purchase a computer, I expect it to function as intended, whether that's for gaming, content creation, or whatever. But when I purchase a trip, I'm purchasing that trip to have the experience, but it's not necessarily for one thing. I'm expecting to have multiple different experiences, whether that's sightseeing, dinners, hotels, whatever. So I don't think necessarily it's apples to apples comparison there. But let's deep dive in a little further.
Lower earners of their minimal disposable income and flips priorities on their head. If you're sleeping on an air mattress with urge to spend $5,000 to party in Tulum, you've traded 360 days of discomfort for 5 days of pleasure.
I definitely never slept on an air mattress and then went out to a bar when I was 21. I didn't do it. I swear.
Bought the fancy bed. So where did this phrase come from? Rich people. If you have 41 Rolexes in a house straight out of a design catalog, your 42nd Rolex is likely going to fill you with a whole lot less joy than the first. And you should probably head to Tulum and chill the hell out. I've learned to buy the experiences after I've covered daily material comfort. And if I find myself without daily material comfort, I don't buy the experience at all, or I opt for something totally free with friends and family. Sure, you'll never regret living up the fun times. Until you get home and find out you have nowhere to sit and take off your shoes. Call me materialistic.
I 100% agree on that. And if we deep dive further into that, at the end of what he said, if we already have material things, then sure, go for it. And yes, you don't want to get home and have no bed. Trust me, I've been there, and it sucks. But I don't know.